Hello, everyone. We're coming on a little late tonight. It's been a long day. We're going to talk about keeping family strong. But before we do that, we want to remind everyone about the February 8th event in Lafayette, the 10th annual banquet for the Acts of Love Ministry. Now, even though it is being promoted by a ministry, it is not a church event. It is definitely an event that is surrounded around the theme of strengthening married couples. We're going to talk about survival. We're going to talk about all types of things, just really to help you build your marriage. So if you are free the weekend of February 8th, that evening at the Petroleum Club, we're going to post the flyer with more information after this video. We definitely encourage you to go ahead and get your tickets. We received a phone call from Sister Kathy. We've been talking with her regularly, but she called us this past week and was so excited because she said normally the amount of tables she has sold now usually doesn't happen until 2 to 3 weeks from now. So we're excited about what God is going to do, about what he's doing through us. We have been definitely in prayer, meditating on the word, and we know that he is truly going to speak through us on that night to help all of you out there that he's allowed us to cross paths with on this wonderful journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2020, we miss you guys.
Yes.
And we apologize for the lack of content. It's not that we don't have the content, but
Yes.
thing called life, and it's very, very busy. We have been up a lot with our church duties, as well as our job duties, as well as our husband and wife duties to our family, and children, which is why we want to make a video about keeping family strong together.
Yeah.
Because so many times we can let things get in the way, and when you put your attention to one sector of your life, something else tends to lack some. So we're trying to find the balance, which sometimes is very difficult to do, but keeping in mind that, hey, have a conversation with my wife, have a conversation with my daughter, have a conversation with my son. And I'm a couch guy. I like to sit on the couch, watch television, and eat. And what I've learned over the past 2 years is that when we sit at a kitchen table, you would be surprised and amazed at what you learn about your family members at that table. So my point being, it's very important to take the time to sit down at that dinner table. It's not just dinner, but that's where some of the most intimate things you will learn about your family,
It's been more than 2 years. How long have you been home?
over 3 years. It's over 3 years.
Yeah. So now let us tell you why we're sharing that. So the first 13 years of our marriage, first 12 years, he was on the road. We owned a trucking company, and his specialty was the transport of hazardous waste.
Yeah.
Not hazardous
Petroleum
waste, I'm sorry.
products.
Yes, hazardous materials. And then he came home, worked locally, but still was gone. So literally, though I have been married to him 17 years, he's been in the house every night for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Is it 3 years?
Going on 4. 3
4
years, going on 4.
Believe it or not, I'm actually in heaven. It's nice having him home every night. But that's one of the things that strengthened our family, and I think that's one of the things that he talked about that brought him in off the road was, the comments from the children, because they were accustomed to not having him here. Though he saw himself as a provider, and I'm out there doing what I need to for my family, the time away definitely shaped their relationship and their thought processes of him. I tell the people that I work with all the time, a person's perception is their reality. So in the children's mind, daddy's not here. In their minds, they had an idea of why he wasn't there. But in his mind, he knew I'm providing for my family. So that's another reason why it's important to sit together and have those conversations. But so you talked about having a dinner together in the evenings. That's very important. Now, for some people, your schedules may be different. So you may have to have breakfast, together. Some may have to have lunch. Whatever it may be, just make sure you sit down with your children, with your husband, with your wife on a daily basis to be able to get that dialogue. Disconnect, put the phones away from the table, and then also to make sure you turn the television off. All those things are very important. And I know that was a challenge for you. I grew up that way. He didn't. So it was a challenge, for him to get off the sofa and actually come to the table and eat dinner. And that goes back to also making sure that we're respectful and have conversations and merge, sometimes the ideas and the traditions, because there are times on family game night or our family nights that we have where we'll go in the living room, we'll get pizza, and we actually eat the way he did, so we still embrace the traditions, even though that tradition may not be one that I'm accustomed to. He's accustomed to it, and it still brings a nice dynamic, and we have a lot of fun on those nights.
Well, what I like about it is the simple fact that person, the kids know that they have my undivided attention. When there's no other distractions in the house, when we're at this table, we're all focused, and everybody feels free to express whatever they want to express at that table. And what we also learned, we did the video with my daughter, the innocence is gone. If you sit there thinking, well, I'm going to talk to my kid about the birds and the bees, when they're 15, 16, you are way too late.
Yeah.
Elementary, believe it or not, is sad, but it's a truth. From elementary on up to junior high, these kids are exposed to everything. So you sitting there trying to be, sugarcoating things and trying to handle them with tender hands doesn't tend to work always, because when they get to school, they have the real world. There's the Instagram, there's the TikTok thing now,
yes,
and the Twitter and social media just has.
We learned a lot at dinner.
Opened a lot, yeah.
We learned a lot.
And it don't help that every song you listen to now, it's no more mystery in the music anymore. It's just bam, it's in your face. Here it is. Deal with it.
Yes. And then share in special moments, not only together as husband and wife, but also with your children, because I know that's something that we have to make sure we do, that we balance not just the time that we spend with each other, but make sure that we pull the kids out of their rooms and spend time with them. Or go in their rooms and meet them. There are many times when our daughter is on FaceTime and we will go and just plop behind the phone and say, who are you talking to? And our son, all we have to do is open the door and go sit on the bed. He's playing Fortnite. And we just sit there and watch him play Fortnite. So, and he enjoys that. He talks about what he's doing and different things like that. So making sure that you're connected, but then finding, as we said, too, that balance in the scheduling.
Which goes back to relationships. You have to find something relatable that you all can have in common to build that relationship.
Yes.
So that's what we work on. People, how do you have a relationship? How do I talk to my kids? Just sit down and just find something that they're interested in and try to see it from their perspective to communicate with them. Which also goes back to the fact that your body language, how you say things, how you react to things.
Yes.
All those kids pick up on all that. And if you're not looking inviting, or if you're not looking approachable, you're not gonna be approached.
Right.
So
and it goes in phases. When our kids were smaller, I can remember him coming home off the road, and I'd hear something in the living room, and he's on the living room crashing cars with our son, or playing, what is the tea set with Alana, and then she had an easy bake oven, and she would make things. So we always did our best to make sure that we spent time with the kids from the time they were little all the way until they were older. Reading to them at night, which was something I love to do, all those types of things. So just be creative. What works for your family, and make sure you're creating those moments with your children and then with each other, and having that balance in your scheduling, because sometimes we can get too busy. So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing together as a family. And if we can't do it together as a family, how much time are we spending away from each other? And is that going to cause conflict during that week? That's definitely something we have to look at. Y'all know, a lot of people comment about my Facebook page and post, and I don't post a lot of the stuff I do. I don't post anything that he does, and he does a lot. Little Gil is not okay with me posting his stuff yet. He fusses. I posted the band stuff and people commented, "Mom, why'd you do that?" So, but I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud. We love our kids.
He likes it when he sees himself doing something and people comment positively about what he does. Then his head get a little big. So sometimes he says it's weird because somebody that he doesn't even know will walk up to him and congratulate him or tell him something, and he's like, "I don't know you." So, but I know them. We're having a conversation. But anyway, so those are just some of the things that, we'd like to leave you with tonight. And finally, when you look at your time together, when you look at your scheduling to make sure you're not too busy, you always, always, always want to make sure that you spend time with Christ. Spend time with God. Pull your family together and pray. We do our best every night to have the children come into the room. We join hands and we take turns praying. Yeah.
So, Daddy will pray one night, Mama will pray one night, Little Gil will pray one night, Alana will pray one night. And that is so important. Prayer is so important. That's the one conversation, that we can have, activating every single spiritual force around us to lead us in protection, lead us in everything that we do, to guide us, to mold us. When we're having problems with our children, instead of sitting there telling them that they're bad, or instead of complaining, go to the Lord in prayer. When my children act up, I bind you right now in the name of Jesus. Satan, get off of my child. That's a spirit. No, we're not having that. And if that don't work, we get old Rusty out. And we haven't had to do that in a long time, so, but it's a matter of you just remembering, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities and rulers in high places. So if we go about our day to day, making schedules, making plans, and we don't start it with prayer, have prayer throughout the day, and end it with prayer, we're not going to be as successful as we could be, and we're going to run into some obstacles that we really don't need to run into. Every morning when my kids get out of the car, when they go catch the bus, I fuss at them if they leave out of the house and don't give me a kiss. I say a quick prayer, and then I tell them, be great. Be great. That is so important. Speaking to your children as they leave, because when they go out there, they are facing spirits. They are facing things that they aren't even aware of, and we have to cover them in prayer as their parents. So just remember that, not only do you need to spend time together, not only do you need to look at your scheduling, but also pray together. A family that prays together
stays together
no matter what.
And I don't want to be political, but because this is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, I want anybody that's watching this, that views this, please vote. Please register to vote. Whatever your party affiliation is, please participate in the process, because everybody's vote matters and it's important. So that's what, for me. Yeah. Please vote.
And that can directly affect the family unit.
Exactly.
Big time, So thank you so much. Thank y'all all so much for watching. It's been wonderful. Again, we're going to post the
flyer.
Yes, of the event on February the 8th. And we hope to see some of you there. We really would like to see all of you there. So make sure that you make that phone call to Sister Kathy so that she can go ahead and get your tickets sent out to you. And again, they are definitely going. So make sure you make that phone call. You all have a blessed and wonderful evening. If you need anything, don't hesitate to message us. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.